Good morning, children. Today we are going to learn the Unit 2, the supplementary lesson. So the supplementary lesson will be on the fun they had. This is the fun you see in the lesson. Now if you see who had written this novel was Isaac Asimov. Isaac Asimov is the writer or the author. Now let's first see the author. Now this Isaac Asimov, he had changed his name afterwards, but his birth name was Isaac Judah Asimov. In fact, he was born in Russia, but then he migrated to America later on. And so later on he changed. He was a Jew. You know who a Jew is? It was a different sect of people. He was a Jewish person. Now, he was born on 2nd Jan 1920 and he died on 6th April 1992. And if you have to know more about this author, if you see, he was a very good American writer. He was a professor in biochemistry. And you know what a biochemistry person is? He would have been a person who had studied, this is biology with chemistry, that is all that chemical processes that take place in the ecosystem, that is in a human being or in an animal or anything for that matter. So all the chemical process that takes place, and he studied that, and he was a professor in biochemistry in Boston University in US. Then he was a science fiction writer. He wrote science fiction. Well, what is science fiction? Fiction is an imagination. It is not really an imagination, but with certain facts, he built up more on it. And if you see, it was a science fiction, all with scientific theory and proof and everything. He wrote fiction out of it. And also he was famous for his popular science. Now what is popular science? Popular science is usually from the grassroots level till the topmost. Say for example, from the primitive group, primitive means from the beginning. That is the beginning of creation, all the first people, how you know how man evolved. Then from the primitive level to the latest technology development. Whatever has been taken place, till this there is a magazine which gives all the details about all the scientific development that have been taking place, and that is, he was very popular in this, and he used to write lots and lots for this popular science magazine. So he is known for this. So from the beginning till the latest. Then if you come to his work, he was a prolific writer. You know, he was a continuous, he's written a lot in his lifetime. And he has written more than 500 books, more than 500, remember? And he has also written 90,000 letters and postcards. And these were all articles to be, that was published in the Popular Science magazine. Then, his books, if you see, he had written hard science fiction. What do you mean by hard science fiction? We already know what science fiction is. That is, imagination developed in this science field. And hard science fiction means it was not just imagination, he had certain facts that were accurate and logical. And that is why it is known as hard science fiction. And some of his books have been, taken up as movies. They have taken movies out of some of the books. And some of the famous movies you may know, like I, Robot, Bicentennial Man, Nightfall, Star Trek and Probe Writer. And all these movies, they say it was very difficult for them to take it because the book that he had written was more confusing and lots of things that they could not decipher what it could be. And so whatever they could understand in a simpler form, they had taken this movie. And so this is about our author. So just for a recap, we know he is a biochemist who worked in Boston University. And he was not only a simple professor in biochemistry, he also wrote lots of books, more than 500 books and up to 90,000 letters and postcards. And he was not only a science fiction writer, but also a popular science writer, that is all the from primitive, from the beginning till the latest technology development he used to write, and just not in imagination, he used to use it in a hard science fiction, that is, everything was accurate and logical. And also some of his books have been taken as movies now. So you may know about all this. Now let's go to our next session, that is the meanings of the lesson. Now the words that we will come across in our lesson will be crinkly. Crinkly means usually old papers that are some hundreds and hundreds of years old or 1,000 years old. If you notice, the papers will be worn out, and not only worn out, it will be all yellowish in color. The white color will change, the color will decrease, reduce, and it will become pale, and it will become yellowish and later on brownish, as if it is being burnt. And it will be so soft, and crinkly means even when you turn it, it may tear, it may crack out. That is the folds and lines that you will see. That is called crinkly. Awfully funny. Awfully means here, it means extremely funny. Extreme. Telebooks. What are telebooks? Telebooks are books that are available in a computer. And if you want to read books, you can open the computer and read it over the screen directly. Now we have lots of books like that. You have a library in that, so you will know better. And that you have to read on a running screen. Even in your phone you can read. And attic. Attic is a small room. Those days they used to have a room where the house will be, where here this is an empty space. And there they will have staircase going there, and they will use that place for storing things. It will be empty, all the extra things and all will be kept there, and that is called an attic, that is just below the roof, a storeroom. Then scornful. What do you mean by scornful? Scornful is when you look at this person and you feel that the person is below yourself. That is, maybe you feel that he is not worth of that particular thing, or he is not good for that, or you have a low consideration about him. You think of him a bit low. So these type of people, is that way we feel about them is called scornful. Punch code. Punch code means it is made of thick paper, cardboard sometimes, or cards, and what they do is, these are all digital information where it is given in, it will be given in holes or closed form. There may be a presence of holes or absence of holes, but that is a code. That is a code where it is already predefined. All the answers are given there. Only thing is, you have to mark your answer, and automatically that will be, when you put it in the computer, it will immediately evaluate your answer. And that is what we always use this, especially this objective type answers in TNPSC exams and all, they have like that. They would have just given question number 1, A, B, C, D, E option. So you have to just color one part, and when you put it in the answer sheet, when it is put it in the computer, automatically the answer will correlate, and it will either say whether it is right or wrong. So that is what is called as punch code. Loftily. Loftily means being proud. When I am very proud of myself, I walk loftily. That means I am walking very proudly. Smart. A smart person is a person, not because he is dressed very smart, it also depends how he thinks fast, how his intelligence is. So smartness is a culmination or a mixture of everything. And here if you notice, a quick-witted person is a person in a situation. If you notice, some people, we have a tendency to we are shocked, we don't know what to do. But some people, if you say, they'll react immediately. And this is what is a quick-witted person, who reacts immediately, intellectually, and does things correctly. And this SMART is an acronym. Acronym, you already know what it is. It is an expansion of S stands for specific, M measurable, A attainable, R realistic, and T timely. The next word will be nonchalant. Nonchalant means a person who is just casual, who's calm, relaxed, doesn't he doesn't have any peak of feelings or anything. He just, every situation he just carries on very casually, just takes it. So, this is about all our meanings. Crinkly, awfully funny, books, attic, scornful, punch code, loftily, smart, nonchalant. Now, we will go to our lesson. In our lesson, if you see, there are very few characters, and those characters, let's discuss what, just get used to their names. The first main character is Margie. Margie. And she is an 11-year-old girl, and in her neighborhood, she has a friend named Tom. Tom in her neighborhood. Then Mrs. Jones, it is Margie's mother. Then you come across a character called County Inspector. Now this County Inspector is a person who is who repairs if anything goes wrong with something called the mechanical teacher. Now you will come to know what a mechanical teacher is. A mechanical teacher is nothing but your TV screen, where you learn from the computer or television, but he didn't use the name computer, he says TV, television. So that is what is called as the mechanical teacher. Mechanical teacher, you can understand, there is no human being at all, only all refer to technology. Okay, now we know about our characters. Margie, Tom, Mrs. Jones, County Inspector, and the mechanical teacher. Now let's go into the lesson. Now if you see, the first, when we start, we will see that Margie and Tom are sitting together. They are now sitting together, and Margie is around, Tom was, they met each other during the day, and those days, even now people have the habit of writing a diary. Well, we don't know whether we have it now, but those days, and some people who want to know what things happened every day, they love to write it in a diary. So this Margie, she had the habit of maintaining a diary, and in this diary usually they will write in this diary at night, that is just before going to sleep. That is, before going to sleep, they will just sit and they will be thinking what happened throughout the day, and all the information they will be writing it there. And they will be writing the date, the day and the month. And this day was supposed to be the 17th of May, but the year was 2157. So today we are in 2020. Imagine 2157. How many years ahead? So in the year 2157, how the world would have been. That is the imagination of the author Isaac Asimov. Now if you see, this Margie, she is writing a diary on 17th May 2157, and she is writing all what happened that day. And that day she says that she met Tommy. Tommy is nothing but the friend Tom who was living in a neighborhood, and Tom suddenly came and he was going through something called a real book. A real book. This is something which nobody knew in the year 2157. So real book is nothing but the book that we are using now. But those days, later on, if we go to the future, surely we are not going to have any books. Everything is going to be in computers and television sets and all that. So that's what they say. A real book was found by Tom, and this book was belonging to his grandfather. Tom's grandfather had kept this book in the attic. He found it in the attic, in his attic, in his house. And this book was used by grandfather when he was a little boy. So this grandfather, when he went to school, he went to regular school and he had books, and one of the books was caught into the attic, and this Tom found out, and then he brought it. It was something unimaginable, something that was really great. And what was very funny was, this had papers that were printed, papers which were printed. Now you have your textbook, you read your magazine, newspapers, everything, all are printed on paper. But today everything is common. We don't find it anything unusual about it. But in 2157, all these books are going to become something extinct. Extinct means we are not going to use them anymore. And so this is what he says. He saw papers where printed material, everything was printed, all the alphabets, words, everything were printed. And the best part was, when they turned the paper, they read something. When they turned the paper, and again when they turned it back, they found the same word on the same place. This was really surprising for them. It did not disappear. It was there always. So while turning the page also, they found the word. So this was something which was really unrealistic for them. Turning the page also, they found the word. So, the same word. So this was something very, shocking to them. They didn't understand, especially Margie, Tom and all of that particular futuristic people. So, what he says is, now Tom started reading through. He was going on slowly. Now, they are not at all used to reading from books. So what happens? He finds it very difficult to read words that are stagnant. Stagnant means which are standing still, which don't move. Now they are used to a technology where they have been always reading text with running or moving words. Usually on the screen you will see, or in a computer, words will be going on moving, and each time you have to be passing it on. So, but here on a paper, it will be still. Still means it won't move. It will be there. So, he is finding it very funny, and what he is passing a comment that, what is the use of writing on a paper like this? After we read it, it is going to be a waste, because once we read it, what are we going to do? We are just going to throw it. So, what is the use of printing on a paper and keeping a book like this, where we are only going to throw it away? It is a great waste. That's what he says. But what about the screen, the millions of books that we upload it in our television or in our computer or wherever? What happens is, whenever we want, we can go back, we can read, we can again go on, and we can have millions of books as we like. But here, one book will take space. Not only space, you have to reread again. But rereading again, you have to go search for it. And what is going to happen after many years? It will get crinkly as we found now, which cannot be read later on, because the words will slowly, the printing will be erased slowly. But what about the telebook thing? It will be always there. That's what he says. It's a waste, so we should throw it off. But in a TV screen, we don't have to throw it away. It will always be there. We can always go in for new books. And there are millions of books. And Tommy, in fact, as the age is more books will be added in your computer. For example, Margie is only 11 years old. Tom is 13 years old. So Margie, who is 11 years old, will have less book compared to Tom, who is 13 years old. So you can understand, as you grow up, as you become elder, more books will be added. Then Tommy found this in the attic, as I told you, and Margie asks him, what is the topic that is given in that book? So Tom says, the topic is about a school. And Margie cannot stand it, because that is the last thing that she likes. She hates school. All of us are the same. We hate coming to school. So she was also an example of you where she hated to go to school. And their school is usually run by a mechanical teacher. This mechanical teacher is nothing but the TV screen. So now your computer, you have a screen. Now on the screen, all what you have to learn will be running. You will have to go read it, you will have to understand, it will be explaining it to you, you will have a voice behind which will be explaining, and you will have to give your homework, you will have tests to do, and immediately the answer will be given back to you. So she says that she hated especially the slot where she had to submit a homework and especially the test. And I already told you in the meanings about a punch code where these tests were already pre-planned and it was already given to the students. And the students, when they face the test, they have to mark the answer. And they have two separate slots. And one slot she had to put her homework, and the other slot she had to put her test paper. And the test paper, you needn't have to wait for 1 or 3 days or 4 days. Immediately the next minute you will get back your answer sheet with the total score of your test. And this is what she hated the most because the mechanical teacher worked very fast. And so, especially she was very upset because she was doing very poorly in her geography subject. Her geography test marks were showing very low marks, satisfactory marks. She was very upset. She thought maybe she was not up to the mark. So she felt, and her mother was always, you know about parents, isn't it? When you don't do your test properly, you are not frightened of the test itself or your performance itself, but you are more frightened of what your parents will say, what your mother especially will say. So what happened? It was time for her school, for her class. And so her mother calls her, Mrs. Jones calls her and asks her to come to school. And the school is at home. There is a room at home and in this you have the computer placed and she will sit in front of the computer and it will start working. And so you have to switch it on and it will start working. So now her school is at home. So again Tom's school is at his home. So he has to go to his home and she had to go to her home. So as this went on, Mrs. Jones says it's time for school. She comes to the room and there she finds the screen ready for her. It was already waiting there for her. Her mother had switched it on and the teacher, the face of the computer, how was it? She says, it looked as if it was large. You can understand now it is exaggeration here because when you hate something, you make it worse. So it was large, black. So the hatred can be seen in this. Ugly. So all these, she says, all these adjectives you come across, and it was a big screen. Big screen itself here, she says, so irritating it was. And the screen showed all the lessons. So all the lessons could be learnt on the screen. And it used to ask questions and she had to answer. And not only that, she says about the test papers and the homework. And homework and test papers, immediately every day homework was given and she had to submit it. We cannot postpone our homework by telling, you know what excuses we come out with in our classes. But here, she could not do all those. When the homework was asked to submit, she had to do it immediately. And this calculated the marks immediately in no time. And then what happened? Mrs. Jones felt that there was something wrong in the computer. So what she said, she thought of calling the county inspector. Now this county inspector is the person who repairs all this. He is in charge of all this. Now this county inspector was called. He was a round, bald-headed man. Round means a fat man who had lots of things carrying with him. He had lots of things with him and all the wires, dials and tools. He had a big box with him and all. He came to the house. And Margie, she thought, Mrs. Jones called him and he came to the house. He gave Margie an apple and asked her, just tapped on her head, and he went into the room to check the computer. As he was checking the computer, Margie standing outside, she thinks the computer should be very badly under repair, where the county inspector will take it home, and for few days she will not have the computer at home and she will not have school those days. Because already once before, Tom, his computer also gave him a problem, and what happened? His county inspector took it for a month for repair, and it took so long, and for that whole month Tom had a nice time. So she thought surely county inspector should have, she hoped in fact, that the county inspector should find a big problem and take the ugly teacher away from school, her home, and for few days he shouldn't bring it to her house. But to her disappointment, what happened? Within an hour, the county inspector repaired it, and he said it was only a small mild mistake where the geography lessons were geared a little faster. And so what happened? She was not able to manage it. And so what he had done it was, he had brought it back to a 10-year-old level. He had brought it down. He had geared it below so that a 10-year-old, average 10-year-old child can manage it. And that is why he says, because it was geared faster, she was not able to manage the test and she was getting only satisfactory marks. And so, in fact, but what about Margie? She was very disappointed. In fact, she would have felt like killing that county inspector. But anyhow, that she cannot show it out. And so, then afterwards, what happened is, this geography lesson was repaired. And then, she says, Tom, then afterwards she is sitting in front of her thing and she is going on thinking how this particular school that was found in that real book, how would that school have been? Because imagine those children, what type of school, what she read, what she could understand was that they had a teacher, and this teacher was a human teacher. How can a teacher be human? Because she has been exposed from the time she was born to a mechanical teacher. So this human teacher was something out of ordinary and she couldn't understand at all. How can a teacher teach? Imagine a human being teaching a group of children. This was something she couldn't take it. And not only that, can a teacher live in the house? Having that big screen in the house itself was a big headache. And now imagine a teacher living in her house all 24 hours there, who will be going on monitoring her. No, she did not like that idea at all. And then Tom said, no, what you said or what you think is wrong. That was not what happened during those days. This human teacher, she did not come to the house or stay in your house. There was a special building, a special place or a building where this teacher and the students came together. And students came together and there they used to have class. That is, they used to sit together in a group and the teacher used to teach the students. This is how the class took place. Then she says, how many children there would have been, students there would have been. How can one teacher teach that many students? Because her mother, Mrs. Jones, had told her that each mechanical teacher will be having all the syllabus or the curriculum according to the IQ of that particular student. So each student had her own mechanical teacher. But here, imagine one human teacher teaching a group of students in a class. Surely the students will have different IQ group. Isn't it? A group will have different IQ students. IQ means children who can imbibe or take in capacity. But how can one teacher be able to teach all of them? And that was something that she couldn't say. And a teacher, human teacher, cannot be as smart as a mechanical teacher. Surely one human teacher, imagine how smart. A mechanical teacher is more smart. Smarter than the human teacher. That's what she says. But how can a human teacher be smart? And then she says, and how can they all sit together and learn the same thing? That was something that she couldn't understand. And how can the teacher adjust to all the students, or all the students adjust to that particular one teacher, because all of them are different? And she was really, she couldn't understand. Then again she had to leave. She had to go to listen to her mechanical teacher's class. Tom also went away. Then afterwards, as she was sitting in front of her mechanical teacher, she was waiting for that particular class that was on arithmetic. This time it was on arithmetic, and it was on problems, that was addition of fractions. Addition of fractions. And it started asking her for her homework. Then it started explaining how to add and all that. But then she was thinking, her mind went away from that particular situation. She started thinking about the real school, from the real book. Then she saw, how could the old school have been? And she went on thinking, imagine all the kids coming together, running to the school. This would have been very nice, running together. And what would have been the situation there? All laughing, talking. That's what you all do, isn't it? Once you come to class, you don't leave your book in your place and you don't sit in your place. You'll be moving, isn't it? You'll be talking to your friends. Even in presence of the teacher in the class, you'll do the same. But anyhow, she had an imagination. She started imagining. Their children would have had a very good time, talking together, laughing, enjoying, sitting together in a classroom. Then not only that, after the class, at the end of the day, they were going home. And how would they have gone home? They would have been going in groups, again laughing and talking and all that. Maybe they would have been learning from one another. Not only from the teacher, but also from the others who would have understood better. They could teach them. And not only that, how to do the homework, get help from the students, get help from friends. All this she started thinking. And not only that, teacher were people. That is something that she couldn't understand. And anyhow, she liked it. When she had the idea of all this, she was thinking that would have been a very joyful experience for those days. But what about this mechanical teacher, which is gloomy, which is only instructing, commanding, only getting work done, no enjoyment, no laughter, nothing, just curriculum oriented, serious way of learning. And she started getting more aversive to this, and it started, and then only she realized that the lessons were going on in her mechanical screen. And then only she started looking at it, and it was teaching her how to add the fraction. And now she starts longing, or now she's thinking, I think that school would have been better than this mechanical teacher, where we would have had a happy school life. And that is what she said. And then only she now feels that they would have had a great fun in that school rather than this gloomy mechanical teacher that she had to face. And that's why she says, the fun they had. Now the fun they had is nothing but the fun or the laughter or the joy that they experienced in a real school, which she learned from the real book of her friend's grandfather's experience. So this is about the supplementary lesson. I'll just go through once. That is, we see her writing a diary, that is Margie writing a diary of the year 2057, 17th May. And there she says her experience of that particular day, where she sees Tom having a real book, and he was reading that real book, which was printed on real paper, which belonged to his grandfather when he was a boy. He found it in his attic. And then they were very surprised to see that the words were not moving as it was moving on their screen. And not only that, they felt the same word was always there. It was not at all, even when they turned the page and turned it back again, it was still there. This was something that they couldn't find out. Then the school that they were undergoing at that time was a school which was run by the mechanical teacher, and the mechanical teacher is nothing but the screen. That is the TV screen, and it was, she says, how was the screen? She hated it. A large, black, ugly, big screen with all the lessons being displayed on it. And not only that, her particular test at that particular time, she was very poor, and so she was always getting scolded by her mother. And so she was, Mrs. Jones, her mother, called the county inspector to repair her TV, and then somehow he repaired it within an hour, which was a great disappointment because she thought of dragging her enjoyment, but still she was poor thing. Then what happened was, then she went through that book, then she realizes that that particular school, the real school at that time, the teacher was human, and she couldn't understand how a teacher could teach that many children. Was the teacher that smart as her mechanical teacher? Surely a mechanical teacher must be smarter than the human teacher. And imagine a whole group of students with different IQ sitting together, learning the same subject at the same time. How can the teacher or the student adjust to that climate? But anyhow, then she says, but she feels later on, she is going on thinking, as the class is going on a mechanical screen, she is thinking of the other school. Surely the children would have enjoyed. They would have had more conversation. They would have been running around, playing. And not only that, they could discuss. They could help each other. And all this only then she realizes. Because here, she will not get any help from anyone other than her mother or the mechanical teacher. None of her friends are going to discuss, because they will only be sitting right in one single room in their home and just watching. And where will the school be? The teacher is not going to stay at home as the mechanical teacher is. The teacher will be coming to a building, and the students will be coming there, and that will be a common place where all of them will be meeting each other, and this teaching will be taking place. So this was something which she found that it could be more happier and an enjoyable experience, and she says the fun they had, that is, they means the past. The children of the past would have had great fun going to school, which has become monotonous and boring for her at present in the future. So with this, I hope you have understood. Thank you for listening.